Welcome to Secret of the Zodiac. If you've ever wondered what happens when you cross an Aries, then you're in the right place. Aries are known for their fiery nature, unshakable confidence, and fierce loyalty. They don't back down, and they certainly don't forget when someone hurts them. But here's the thing. While Aries might seem like they're always on the front lines of a battle, there's something even more powerful at play when you wrong them: karma. Karma, in its quiet and often unnoticed way, has a way of making sure balance is restored. So why is it such a big mistake to hurt an Aries? Well, Aries is not someone who seeks revenge or harbors ill feelings for long. No, they're too focused on what's ahead. However, even when they seem to move on quickly, the energy you put out into the universe doesn't just vanish. It comes back, and it often returns stronger than you could ever expect. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Is it really that big of a deal to cross an Aries? Let me tell you, it is. Aries has a natural-born leader quality that demands respect, and when that's violated, it doesn't just affect them, it affects the energy of the world around them. And while Aries might not always show it, their sense of justice and determination will ensure that karma works in ways that may surprise you. So, before you ever think about hurting an Aries, just know that the universe has a plan to make sure things are righted. In this video, we're diving deep into the 12 reasons why hurting an Aries isn't just a personal mistake. It's a mistake that could come back to you in ways you can't even predict. Number 1, Aries are born leaders. If there's one thing that stands out about Aries, it's their natural leadership abilities. From the moment they enter a room, their energy is palpable. Aries have a magnetic presence, a drive that draws people in, and an innate sense of authority that can't be ignored. When you cross an Aries, especially when you hurt them, you're not just making an enemy, you're challenging a leader. And in the world of astrology, challenging a leader is never a good idea. Why? Because Aries are not the type to simply step aside. Their courage, confidence, and assertiveness make them stand tall, even in the face of adversity. They aren't afraid to speak their truth, confront difficult situations, or stand up for themselves. And this is why they are often at the helm of many groups, businesses, and causes. Hurt them, and you are essentially daring them to show you just how powerful they can be when pushed. What makes Aries so formidable as leaders is that they don't just lead by words, they lead by action. If they say they're going to do something, you can bet they'll follow through with it, and do so with determination and passion. They don't sit around waiting for things to happen. They go out and make things happen. That kind of energy is contagious, and it's also why they rarely back down when they feel disrespected. Now, when you hurt an Aries, you are tapping into their deep sense of pride. They've worked hard to build the life they have, to establish their credibility and reputation. If you attack them or go after their character, you're not just crossing a line, you're undermining their very essence, and Aries won't take this lightly. They might not react immediately, but rest assured they'll remember. And while they may not seek revenge in the traditional sense, they'll quietly ensure that the balance is restored, often in a way you didn't expect. But here's the kicker. The thing about Aries is that they don't always need to fight back to make you feel the consequences. Their natural leadership abilities will cause them to move forward and excel, no matter what. The universe, however, has a funny way of ensuring that balance is kept. When you challenge an Aries, you're essentially inviting karma to work in ways that often hit harder than you realize. You may not see it immediately, but karma doesn't forget. The energies you put into the world, especially the negative ones, tend to come back in unexpected ways. Aries may seem like they're unaffected on the surface, but their inner strength and determination are what make them so resilient. They'll come out on top, and you'll eventually realize that crossing them only made them stronger. And as they move ahead, continuing to grow, you might find that the balance the universe seeks for you is a lot harder to handle than you anticipated. Number 2, their loyalty is unbreakable. If you've ever had the privilege of earning the loyalty of an Aries, you know just how powerful it can be. Aries are fiercely loyal individuals. Once you've earned their trust and respect, they will stand by you no matter what. This loyalty is not something they give lightly. It's earned through actions, mutual respect, and most importantly, integrity. Aries value those they love and are extremely protective of their inner circle. They will go to great lengths to support, defend, and uplift those they care about. But here's the catch. If you hurt an Aries, you break that loyalty. You're not just damaging a relationship, you're damaging their sense of trust in people. This is where it gets tricky, because Aries may forgive, but they never forget. Even if they move on, the hurt remains in their memory, and it'll always be a piece of their relationship with you. You may think that time will heal all wounds, but with Aries, there's always an underlying understanding that loyalty was breached. And that's where karma comes into play. When you hurt an Aries, especially by breaking their trust or being disloyal, you're setting a chain of events in motion that you might not see immediately. Karma doesn't always work on a linear timeline. It can hit you when you least expect it. Aries who might choose to forgive or move on will do so with the quiet knowledge that they've been wrong. They won't seek retaliation the way you might expect. Instead, karma will act on your behalf, slowly but surely, restoring the balance in ways you can't anticipate. If you think that crossing an Aries will go unnoticed, you're sorely mistaken. They may not always react with the same intensity as they would if directly challenged in a leadership capacity, but trust that they are keenly aware of your actions. Once you break their loyalty, you've altered the dynamic of your relationship with them forever. And while Aries might seem like they're quick to move on, they'll never forget the hurt. That hurt is something karma ensures will be addressed one way or another. It's important to realize that the damage caused by breaking an Aries' trust doesn't just affect them emotionally, it affects the dynamic of your connection. Aries will guard their heart fiercely, and once loyalty is breached, it becomes increasingly difficult to regain their trust. While they may give others second chances, don't mistake that for weakness. It's a sign of their capacity for forgiveness, not an invitation to take advantage of them. Hurt an Aries, and you'll not only lose their loyalty, but you'll also feel the silent ripple effect of karma that ensures the breach is corrected. Number 3, Aries never forget. When it comes to Aries, one thing you should know is that they never forget. You might think that because an Aries forgives you, everything is back to normal. But trust me, that's not how an Aries operates. They may forgive, but they carry the memory of what happened with them. For Aries, forgiveness isn't about erasing the past. It's about moving forward without allowing past wrongs to define their future. However, just because they choose not to dwell on what happened doesn't mean they've forgotten. This is where the true power of an Aries shines. Their memory serves as a kind of internal compass, helping them navigate their relationships and interactions. When you hurt them, you don't just harm them in that moment. You plant a seed that remains in their mind. Even if they seem to let go of the situation, they will always keep a piece of that betrayal tucked away in their heart. It's not about being vengeful. It's about self-preservation. Aries are incredibly intuitive, and they learn from every experience, good or bad. The beauty of an Aries is that they don't let hurt slow them down. They may seem unaffected on the surface, continuing to charge ahead with their goals and ambitions. But in the back of their mind, the memory of how they were wronged stays with them, influencing the way they approach future interactions. They won't hold grudges in the traditional sense, but don't mistake that for weakness. They simply understand that some things are best left in the past, but the lesson learned stays with them. Karma, on the other hand, never forgets. While Aries may choose to forgive, the universe has a way of ensuring that those who harm an Aries face the consequences of their actions. The energy that was put out into the universe will eventually come back around. It doesn't always come back in the form you'd expect, and it doesn't always happen immediately. But in time, you'll begin to realize that the consequences of hurting an Aries come full circle. When you hurt someone with such a strong sense of integrity and self-worth, karma ensures that balance is restored. By the time you realize what's happening, it's often too late. The quiet power of Aries' inner strength, combined with the universe's plan to balance the scales, will ensure that those who wrong them experience a shift in their own lives. And when that happens, it'll feel like a lesson that you never saw coming. Number 4, their confidence is unshakable. Aries are renowned for their unshakable confidence. This isn't just surface-level arrogance. It's the kind of confidence that comes from within. Aries know their worth, and they carry that energy with them wherever they go. If you ever get the chance to spend time with an Aries, you'll quickly realize that their self-assurance is not just for show. It's a reflection of their inner strength, their ability to face challenges head-on, and their commitment to living life with purpose. But here's the thing. Hurting an Aries means trying to undermine their confidence, and that's not something they'll take lightly. Aries may not always show their emotions in the same way as other signs, but their sense of self is sacred to them. When someone challenges their self-worth, it cuts deeper than you might think. The key to understanding Aries is recognizing that their confidence is not just a defense mechanism, it's who they are. It's the fuel that drives them to succeed, to lead, and to conquer any obstacles in their path. When you hurt an Aries, whether intentionally or not, you're attacking the very foundation of their being. That kind of action sends a ripple through their psyche, forcing them to recalibrate and assess the situation. They may not react immediately, but trust that they are processing everything at a deep level. Aries are not the type to show weakness, and they certainly don't want to appear vulnerable. But when their confidence is shaken, it makes them pause, reflect, and rebuild themselves even stronger. However, here's the twist. While Aries may internalize the hurt for a brief moment, they will bounce back stronger than ever. This is where their true strength lies. You might have tried to tear down their confidence, but Aries' ability to recover from setbacks is one of their most powerful traits. They don't stay down for long. In fact, the moment you think they've been knocked off course, they'll rise again with an even fiercer determination. And this is where karma comes into play. You may try to hurt Aries by challenging their confidence, but karma is never too far behind. The universe recognizes the strength of an Aries and works silently to ensure that those who try to diminish it will face consequences. It's not a dramatic retaliation, but a quiet and powerful force that balances the energy you've put out into the world. When you undermine an Aries, you're setting in motion a process that will eventually bring balance back to the situation. While Aries will rebuild and thrive, karma will make sure that you feel the effects of your actions in ways you won't immediately understand. It's almost as if the universe works behind the scenes to ensure that no one gets away with trying to tear down an Aries' self-worth. Number 5. Aries have a strong sense of justice. Aries is a sign that thrives on fairness. Their sense of justice is not just a personality trait, it's a core part of who they are. When you hurt an Aries, you're not just attacking them personally, you're challenging their fundamental belief in fairness. Aries strongly believe in doing what is right, and they can't stand it when they see someone being mistreated, wronged, or taken advantage of. For them, right and wrong are not abstract concepts. They're tangible, and they influence everything they do. An Aries' sense of justice is often the driving force behind their actions, both in personal matters and in larger societal issues. They won't hesitate to stand up for themselves, their loved ones, or even strangers if they feel that something is unjust. This is why hurting an Aries is not just a personal issue, it's a violation of their core values. When you wrong them, you're challenging their sense of fairness, and that's not something that they will just forget or accept. While Aries are known for their fiery tempers, they also have a deep respect for justice. They will fight for what's right, regardless of the consequences. If you've hurt them or done something they perceive as unjust, you might think that Aries will just let it go, but that's not their style. Instead, they will make sure that justice is served. Whether it's through confronting you directly, cutting ties, or simply moving on to bigger and better things, Aries will make sure that balance is restored. But remember, they don't need to make a scene to get their point across. Karma does that for them. The beauty of Aries is that they don't back down from a fight, especially when it's about what's right. They will stand their ground and ensure that what's unjust gets rectified. However, the universe also has its own sense of justice. When you hurt an Aries, karma is already quietly at work to ensure that balance is restored. You may not see the effects immediately, but trust me, karma has a way of ensuring that no one gets away with disrespecting Aries' sense of right and wrong. Number 6. They don't back down. One of the most defining characteristics of an Aries is their relentless determination. When they've been hurt, or when they believe in something with their whole heart, they simply do not back down. Aries are not afraid of confrontation, nor are they intimidated by anyone. If you think you can hurt an Aries and walk away without consequences, you're gravely mistaken. The fire that fuels an Aries also fuels their tenacity to stand firm in their beliefs and actions. An Aries' determination is often what makes them successful in life. They charge forward with their goals, never letting anything stand in their way. When they've made up their mind, nothing can stop them. However, this same unyielding nature can be what makes them so difficult to deal with when you hurt them. Aries doesn't just forget things. They carry their experiences with them, and when wronged, they will hold on to that feeling until they feel that justice has been done. You might think that an Aries will move on quickly, that they'll forgive and forget, but that's not the case. Aries may forgive, but they don't forget. Their determination means they will always remember how they've been treated, and that will influence their actions moving forward. When you hurt an Aries, you're not just creating a temporary conflict, you're potentially shaping the way they interact with you and even others forever. They might not express it immediately, but their deep resolve will ensure that the repercussions of your actions aren't taken lightly. Karma, however, has a way of quietly stepping in when Aries don't take matters into their own hands. It doesn't mean that Aries will retaliate in the same dramatic way that others might. No, instead, karma ensures that the wrongs done to Aries don't go unnoticed. You might not see it right away, but in time, you'll feel the weight of your actions. Karma works in the background, making sure that your attempts to hurt Aries will be returned in a way that teaches you a valuable lesson, without Aries lifting a finger. In the grand scheme of things, Aries doesn't need to fight every battle. They know when to step back and let the universe take care of the situation. When you hurt them, you're essentially calling forth karma to do its job. And believe me, karma doesn't miss a detail. It's not about making a scene or causing drama. It's about ensuring that balance is restored in ways that affect you more profoundly than you might expect. Number 7, Aries value their independence. Aries are known for their independence. This isn't just about doing things alone. It's a deep-rooted need for freedom that defines much of who they are. They have an innate drive to carve their own path and make their own decisions. To an Aries, independence is not just a lifestyle, it's a core principle. So when you hurt an Aries, you're doing more than causing emotional pain. You're attacking their freedom, their ability to stand on their own and be true to themselves. What makes Aries so incredibly unique is their ability to thrive on their own terms. While other signs may lean on others for support or validation, Aries is perfectly content navigating life solo. They don't require anyone's approval to succeed or feel fulfilled. This autonomy is what fuels their fiery spirit and drives them to accomplish great things. If you try to restrict that independence, whether through controlling behavior, manipulation, or outright harm, you're attacking the very foundation of who they are. Hurt an Aries, and you might find that they retreat into themselves, even more fiercely independent than before. They may cut ties or distance themselves from you without explanation. Aries isn't the type to tolerate being confined. Once their freedom feels threatened, they will act swiftly to protect it. Their ability to pull away and maintain their independence, even from those they care about, is a testament to their strength. But here's where karma steps in. Karma, in its infinite wisdom, sees this violation of an Aries' autonomy and takes note. Aries may seem to let things go on the surface, but the impact of hurting them is never fully erased. Karma, quietly working in the background, will ensure that the consequences of attempting to limit an Aries' independence will come back to you in ways you don't expect. It could manifest as a loss of your own personal freedom, or you might find yourself in situations where you feel trapped or restricted. Just as you tried to restrict an Aries, the universe has a way of balancing the scales, ensuring that freedom is honored for everyone involved. Aries will rise from the ashes of hurt and betrayal stronger than ever. But for those who try to confine them, the consequences can be far more subtle and potentially more painful. You might find yourself longing for the same kind of freedom that you once tried to take away from them. realizing that the price of messing with an Aries independence is higher than you ever anticipated. Number 8, their energy is infectious. One of the most magnetic qualities of an Aries is their energy. It's electric, vibrant, and impossible to ignore. When an Aries enters a room, it's as if the entire atmosphere changes. Their passion, enthusiasm, and zest for life are contagious, and they inspire others to feel the same way. Aries doesn't just bring energy to a situation, they create energy. Their ability to light up a room and motivate those around them is one of their most powerful traits. But when you hurt an Aries, you're not just hurting them, you're dimming that incredible light, and the effects ripple outwards. When you harm an Aries, you're impacting not just their emotional state, but also the energy they bring into the world. Aries' energy is a gift that they share freely with those they trust and care about. When they're hurt, however, they may withdraw that energy, either consciously or subconsciously. They will no longer bring their usual spark to the table, and you'll feel the absence of that contagious enthusiasm. The dynamic shifts, and the room that once felt filled with life now feels drained and hollow. But here's the thing about Aries, they don't stay dimmed for long. Even when hurt, their natural ability to rise above adversity and rekindle their inner fire is unmatched. Aries will find their spark again, and when they do, they will come back with even more intensity than before. The energy you tried to take from them will return tenfold, and you'll find yourself standing in the wake of their renewed strength. You may even begin to notice that the people around you, who once were energized by your own presence, now seem to be drawn to Aries instead. The universe, sensing the imbalance of energy, will return that which was taken. Karma, however, doesn't need to announce its arrival. It quietly works to restore the balance. If you've tried to take Aries' energy or suppress their natural power, you may find that your own energy starts to dwindle. The enthusiasm you once felt may fade, and you'll find yourself struggling to reignite that spark. While Aries will bounce back and reclaim their energy, karma ensures that the consequences of dimming someone else's light will manifest in a way that impacts you. It's not always easy to see the connection between hurting an Aries and facing the loss of your own energy, but as time passes, you'll begin to understand that when you try to stifle the natural energy of someone like Aries, the universe will quietly make sure that you learn the importance of balance. Aries' fire is not something that can be extinguished forever, and the consequences of hurting them will eventually show up in your own life, often in unexpected ways. Number 9, Aries protect their loved ones fiercely. When it comes to protecting the people they care about, Aries is a force to be reckoned with. Their loyalty knows no bounds, and they will go to great lengths to safeguard those they love. Aries will fiercely defend their friends, family, and even acquaintances if they feel they're being mistreated. So, if you hurt an Aries, you're not just attacking them, you're attacking their loved ones, and that is a serious mistake. For Aries, their relationships are sacred. Their loved ones are their warriors, and they'll do anything in their power to shield them from harm. An Aries will stand in front of a threat and absorb the impact before allowing someone they love to suffer. They are protectors by nature, and this fierce, protective instinct makes them one of the most loyal and reliable signs in the zodiac. When you wrong them, especially when it involves their loved ones, you trigger their instinct to defend, and it's not something you can easily escape from. But here's the twist. Aries won't always confront the situation head-on. They don't need to. They will handle things their way, quietly ensuring that those who hurt them or those they care about face the consequences of their actions. They are often able to cut toxic people from their lives without causing a scene, and in doing so, they ensure that their loved ones are protected from further harm. But even if Aries seems to walk away or disengage from the situation, they will never forget who has wronged them or their inner circle. Karma, though, has its own way of dealing with this. While Aries may choose to distance themselves from the situation, they don't need to fight back directly to make sure justice is done. Karma works quietly, ensuring that those who hurt Aries or their loved ones eventually face the repercussions of their actions. It's a silent force, ensuring that the balance is restored in a way that might not be immediately obvious, but will undoubtedly affect the person who dared to cross an Aries. As Aries move forward with their lives, thriving and continuing to protect the ones they care about, karma will ensure that anyone who's caused them harm will eventually feel the weight of their actions. Aries' strength lies not just in their ability to protect, but in their ability to move on with grace, leaving karma to work its magic in the background. And trust me, when karma takes its course, it ensures that the harm you caused Aries will come back to you in ways that you never expected. Number 10, they have boundless resilience. Aries are known for their resilience. They are the type of people who will get knocked down, but they will always rise again, often stronger than before. Their resilience is unmatched, and this is what makes them so powerful. When you hurt an Aries, you're testing their strength, but you'll soon realize that hurting an Aries is not an easy feat. Aries will bounce back from any setback, no matter how big or small. Their strength comes from within, and it's this inner power that allows them to keep going even when the odds are stacked against them. But here's the thing. You might think that hurting an Aries will weaken them. You might think that you can break their spirit or their will to fight. However, the opposite is true. When an Aries faces adversity, it only fuels their fire. They thrive on challenge, and every time someone tries to take them down, they come back stronger, more determined, and more focused than ever before. Their resilience is a reflection of their unyielding spirit, their refusal to be broken by anyone or anything. What makes Aries so resilient is not just their strength, but their ability to remain true to themselves despite the challenges they face. They don't let hurt define them. Instead, they use it as a stepping stone to move forward. When you hurt an Aries, you might think you've taken them down, but all you've done is ignited the fire within them to fight back harder. They may not show it right away, but in time, you'll see them rise again, stronger and more unstoppable than ever. Karma, however, doesn't need Aries to take matters into their own hands. Karma is a force that silently ensures the scales are balanced. While Aries may rise from the ashes, stronger than before, karma will make sure that anyone who tried to hurt them faces consequences that often hit harder than expected. You may think that Aries' resilience is the result of their own efforts, but in reality, it's karma ensuring that their strength is rewarded and that the people who hurt them are given a reminder of the power they tried to suppress. As Aries move forward, empowered by their own resilience and the silent force of karma, you might find yourself reflecting on your actions. What you thought was a simple hurt may end up being something far more profound, as karma takes its own course and ensures that the balance is restored. When you hurt an Aries, you're not just attacking their spirit, you're inviting the universe to step in and show you just how powerful resilience can be. Number 11. Aries don't tolerate manipulation. One of the most dangerous things you can try to do to an Aries is manipulate them. Aries are known for their sharp intuition and strong sense of self, so attempting to manipulate them will only backfire. They have an uncanny ability to see through falsehoods, deceit, and any form of manipulation. If you try to pull the wool over their eyes, they'll immediately sense something is off. Aries don't tolerate being controlled or deceived, and they certainly won't let anyone take advantage of them. Aries may be driven by passion, but they're also highly intelligent and self-aware. This combination of traits makes them incredibly hard to fool. Their natural intuition allows them to pick up on subtle cues, and they're quick to recognize when someone is being disingenuous. They value honesty above all else, and if you try to manipulate them, you're not just breaking their trust, you're attacking the very foundation of their beliefs. They believe in the power of truth and integrity, and they expect the same from those around them. When you try to manipulate an Aries, you're playing with fire. They might not react immediately, but rest assured, they will be processing the situation deeply. Aries don't forget when someone has tried to manipulate them, and they will make sure that they don't fall into that trap again. Their inner strength and independence will drive them to distance themselves from anyone who tries to deceive them. And while Aries may not seek revenge, karma certainly will. When you manipulate an Aries, you're setting yourself up for a lesson in humility. Karma has a way of ensuring that manipulative behavior doesn't go unpunished. You may think you've gotten away with it, but karma will quietly work in the background to make sure you face the consequences of your actions. Whether it's in the form of a personal betrayal, a loss of trust, or situations where you find yourself being manipulated in return, karma will make sure that the balance is restored. When you try to manipulate an Aries, you're inviting a force that will hold you accountable for your dishonesty. The universe will not let you walk away without feeling the consequences of your actions. Number 12. Aries' intuition is spot on. Aries have an extraordinary ability to trust their instincts, and their intuition is often spot on. When they sense that something is wrong, they don't second-guess themselves. They know. Aries have an innate understanding of people and situations, which is why they often come out on top in challenging circumstances. They don't need to rely on others' opinions or advice because their gut feeling is usually the most reliable guide. If you hurt an Aries, they will sense it immediately, even if you think you've hidden your intentions well. Aries are highly perceptive, and their sharp intuition allows them to see through pretenses and deceit. When you try to wrong them, they will feel the energy shift, and they will know that something is amiss. This isn't just a matter of being cautious. It's a deep, gut-level understanding that Aries have about their surroundings and the people they interact with. What makes Aries' intuition even more powerful is that it's closely tied to their natural instincts. They trust their feelings without hesitation, and this connection to their intuition gives them an edge in many situations. Aries rarely make decisions without consulting their inner wisdom first. They can sense when something is off, and that's why they're so good at protecting themselves from harm. If you hurt them, you can be sure that they'll know exactly who is responsible, even if you think you've gotten away with it. Karma, however, doesn't need to be told when something is wrong. Aries' intuition works in perfect alignment with the universe, and karma knows exactly how to return what was taken. The universe will make sure that anyone who tries to hurt Aries will face the consequences, often through a realization or awakening that comes from within. You might think that you've gotten away with your actions, but karma will make sure that the truth eventually comes to light. Aries' intuition may not always show the full picture immediately, but karma has a way of ensuring that those who harm an Aries will eventually realize the error of their ways. In the end, trying to deceive or hurt an Aries will not only damage your relationship with them, but will also lead to consequences that you cannot control. Their intuition is a powerful force that aligns with the universe's sense of justice. If you think you can get away with hurting an Aries, you're mistaken. Karma will always find a way to make sure that the balance is restored, and you will eventually feel the effects of your actions, whether through the realization of your mistakes or the consequences of your deceit. We've explored just how powerful and resilient Aries truly are. Whether it's their leadership abilities, unshakable confidence, strong sense of justice, or relentless determination, one thing is clear: hurting an Aries is never a good idea. They are not only warriors of their own hearts, but guardians of the truth and fairness, and crossing them is an invitation for karma to strike silently but forcefully. We've seen that Aries' resilience is unmatched. They bounce back from any setback stronger than before, and their sense of self never falters. You may try to hurt them, manipulate them, or shake their confidence, but Aries will rise every single time. Their unbreakable loyalty and fierce protection of their loved ones make them a force to be reckoned with, and karma will ensure that those who hurt them will feel the consequences sooner or later. The universe has a way of balancing the scales. Even when Aries doesn't seek revenge, karma works quietly in the background, making sure that no wrong goes unnoticed. But beyond their strength, Aries is a reminder that we should always strive for respect, honesty, and integrity in our relationships. Hurting someone who lives by such powerful values only leads to imbalance, and eventually, you'll see the repercussions of those actions. What might seem like a small betrayal or a temporary harm to you is often a lesson in disguise for you, guided by the quiet power of karma. If you've enjoyed learning about why you should never hurt an Aries, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you ever crossed an Aries or witnessed their resilience firsthand? How did it play out for you? Let me know in the comments below. I want to hear your stories, your experiences, and how Aries have impacted your life. Your comments are always appreciated, and they help me connect with all of you, creating a space where we can share and learn together. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Secret of the Zodiac brings you all the fascinating insights into zodiac signs and astrology, and I don't want you to miss out on the next big revelation. Make sure to watch our other videos as well to dive even deeper into the world of astrology. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Your support helps the channel grow, and it keeps me motivated to continue bringing you the best content. The more likes and comments we get, the more people we can reach. So please, share your thoughts and keep the conversation going. Remember, the energy you put out in the world always comes back to you. So treat others with respect, especially those who embody the strength and spirit of Aries. Trust me, you don't want to get on the wrong side of someone who can stand strong through anything and always come out on top. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.